Hi everyone, and welcome to another edition of Seaman Viking News. Tonight we've packed in many stories. We'll show you what it feels like to drink and drive with our drunk goggles, and our media trip down to KS&T, a motivational story dealing with 15-year-olds driving, another story about what distracting driving consists of, and lastly, a story about bumper cars, so stay tuned.
Hi, and thanks for joining us with our Seaman High School news. I'm Katie.
And I'm Casey.
Our first story for the night is about drunk goggles. What do you really think it's like to drink and drive? Here is Emily to give you the answer.
It happens more than it should. Intoxicated teen drivers causing chaos on the road and endangering lives. Now, at Seaman High School, something is being done. The drunk goggles give teens a first-hand look at just how difficult it really is to drive intoxicated, but without the risks. I talked to Susan Sittenauer, the SAD sponsor, to see how she thinks these goggles will benefit our students.
I think the drunk goggles will benefit our students because they simulate being impaired, and they show the students that your coordination skills and your motor skills not what they should be when it comes time to drive a vehicle, and the thought that you may have to make a split-second decision to be a defensive driver or if something happens on the road. And if you're impaired in any way, shape, or form, you could endanger your life or the life of someone else. So hopefully these goggles will make students realize that drinking and driving is not something that they should ever do.
I talked to some students to see their reaction to the drunk goggles.
It was disorienting, it was dizzying, I couldn't walk the straight line, and it would definitely impair your driving skills.
Here at Seaman, we hope that these goggles may convince teens to make the right decision and not drive drunk. Seaman Vikings drive to save lives.
Thanks, Emily. Not too long ago, our media class was invited to drive down to the local KS&T TV station and get a feel for it. Here's Ashley Guerin with the news.
On October 18th, Mr. McKeithen's media tech classes went to KS&T on Highway 24. The class learned all the secrets to a successful newscast. We saw the production room and were shown how a commercial is put together. Then was the control room, where we learned all about lots and lots of buttons.
At about 3 o'clock in the morning, we're here till 11.
On set, we had a chance to work our own weather show with the help of famous Steve Balon. Lastly, in the newsroom, we had the chance to see where reporters discuss their stories and decide on the news every night. We talked to Dylan about the trip.
My favorite thing about the trip to KS&T was probably getting on the blue screen and pretending to give the weather with Steve Balon, because he's a cool guy.
All in all, our own news team learned how to make Seaman's daily announcements and stories better, thanks to our friendly tour of KS&T. This is Ashley Guerin with Seaman Viking News.
The average 16-year-old soccer player has had 1,500 hours of coached soccer practice. But only 50 hours of driving experience is required in most states for a driver's license. Life is not a game. Seaman Vikings drive to save lives.
Thank you, Ashley. We all had a lot of fun down there. I recently talked to Mrs. Dobler, a mother of students that attend Seaman High School, about her thoughts on 15-year-old drivers and how many parents aren't aware of the rules. Let's take a look.
Diary. My parents are driving me crazy. I'll be 16 soon, and they still won't let me drive by myself. Not even down the street to my friend's house. Everyone else's parents let them drive. Why can't I? Frustrated and 15.
We see it every day, peer pressures amongst teens, but we rarely associate this type of pressure to parents. However, it's happening every day, and it's a pressure that could cost their child their life. Sound familiar? During first year of licensed driving, 1 out of 5 male drivers and 1 out of 10 female 16-year-olds will have a collision. Now, does that sound familiar? More and more parents of first-year drivers are feeling the pressure, as other parents are allowing their 15-year-olds to drive. We talked to Brenda Dobler, mother of 15-year-olds, to see how she's been feeling the heat.
I guess my biggest thing is like when they turn 15 and the summer after freshman year, their 9th grade year, it's getting the kids and the parents aware of what actually 15-year-olds can be doing and should not be doing as drivers, and especially as soon as after they take the driver's education course during the summer. I think some parents and students aren't aware of exactly what the rules are. Like they shouldn't be driving with anybody else in the vehicle except for like their parents. And then I understand too, it's like anybody 18 that lives in their home. And then also like driving to and from school, to and from work. Some tend to think that like if there's a sport activity or a camp during the summertime, that they're free to drive to and from those just because it's to school and then back home. But that's not what it means. It means that it's during school hours when school is in session, and school is not in session till the middle of August, and some 15-year-olds are driving to and from school before school starts in the middle of August. And that tends to bother me because you know, as a parent, I try to enforce those rules, but then my kids see other kids are able to break the rules and drive during the summertime before school starts. And it's really hard as a parent to, you know, keep your kids on track when they see other kids doing it. That is the wrong way.
We're all given choices in life, so the next time you decide to give your keys to an underage driver, you just may be choosing death.
So we talked. I guess I can understand where my parents are coming from. I mean, it's my life we're dealing with. I could probably use some more experience. 15 and understand. Do you want to be another cross on the side of the road? Seaman Vikings drive to save lives.
Thanks, Casey. All right, last but not least, students in our media class are here to give a story about real bumper cars.
I have.
I have.
I have.
I have.
I have.
Seaman student James Dean was not paying attention behind the wheel and got in a wreck.
Okay, this was back when I was driving my truck and I was over by Highland Park. I ran a stop sign.
Inexperience behind the wheel is the leading cause of teenage crashes.
Wasn't paying attention and totaled the van.
My tips would be to stay away from things in the vehicle that could cause you to be inattentive, cell phones, CDs, anything like that.
Pay attention, try not to be distracted by too many things, drive safe and drive sober.
Thanks, Katie. There are plenty of stories we have all come up with to provide you with more information on driving to save lives. Katie and I drove around Topeka and found how many drivers are distracted and how many of them nearly wreck. So tonight we've brought you some information on distracted driving. Letting your child outside of the house and sit behind the wheel to what you think is a typical weekend isn't so easy. And it's not so easy to understand what could really happen. Cell phones are the leading causes of crashes by 400% today. Did you know you're twice as likely to miss a traffic signal when talking on your cell phone? Not only can cell phones be distracting, but try turning your radio up full blast as your favorite song plays on the radio. While being distracted and using up all your energy, you're probably getting really hungry, so you stop at a local McDonald's for a bite to eat. If your foot can barely reach the gas pedal because it's smothered in wrappers, you're probably in trouble. These two yellow lines are the only things that are separating you and another car from a terrible accident. Do you want to take these chances? This is Casey Hughes signing off with Seaman High School Drive to Save Lives. Thank you for staying tuned tonight for another edition of our Drive to Save Lives campaign and Seaman High News. Watch our rebroadcast of this show on Sunday at 6. Stay safe and have a good week.